Bennington County has long been known for its robust arts community, ranging from theater to musical concerts to art exhibits, and as a home for creative types who enjoy the pastoral countryside. Together with other assets and outdoor recreational opportunities, the arts have played an important role in the overall county's economy. On the statewide level, two recent studies, one done in 2014 and the other in 2016, have determined that the arts industries generated more than $500 million in economic activity and accounted for more than 9% of the state's workforce. Given the possible payoffs, both economic and along broader quality of life measurements, some of which were highlighted in the Northshire Economic Development Strategy, or NEDS report, released in 2016, the towns of Manchester and Bennington applied for and received a $35,000 municipal planning grant in conjunction with the Bennington County Regional Commission to develop a countywide cultural plan to study how this sector of the region's economy might be leveraged further. The cultural plan was launched last year and extended over a 14-month-long period and engaged Julia Dixon, a creative economy consultant, to help develop the plan, which was finished last month. It lists area strengths, such as the extensive history of the arts and culture in Bennington County and the presence of institutions like the Bennington Museum, along with weaknesses, like the lack of sustained collaboration among arts groups and the division, real and imagined, between the northern and southern ends of the county, typically defined as the Northshire and Southshire split. We had a chance to talk with Julia Dixon down at the Bennington Museum recently as she was wrapping up her role in the project.
The Bennington County Cultural Plan had three primary goals. One was to sort of do what it can to unify arts and culture in the whole county. The second goal was to see how arts and culture, the sector as a whole, can really impact economic development, producing product and jobs and generating tourism and stuff like that. And then the third goal was to also see how arts and culture could impact community development. That's more of an integration of the arts into different fields like healthcare and human services, to sort of leverage that sector and sort of spread the impact out a little bit more. From my perspective, the differences between the Northshire and the Southshire don't hinder this process. They just don't. They are very different, their identities are different, they have different demographics, but I think that all will make this community stronger and will make this arts and cultural plan really shine. In the Northshire, you've got more philanthropy, there's more of a culture of investment. If you transfer some of that down to the Southshire, it will have so much more of an impact, and vice versa. So in the Southshire, there's a younger population, maybe it's with a different kind of energy, and they sort of want different kinds of cultural activities. And you transfer, and some of that is also happening in Northshire. But if you connect those two things, really, then the county will just sort of explode.
Two other prominent members of the leadership team of the cultural plan were Shannon Borsatti, the Community Development Director for the town of Bennington, and Alexina Jones of the Bennington Area Arts Council. They talked about what the next steps and implementation challenges would be.
As I see it, it really has to be a collaborative process. We have to bring the town together with the Arts Council and all of the other organizations that make up part of the Arts Council in this community, so Vermont Arts Exchange, up into the Manchester area, the music festivals and the theaters that exist. We want to be talking in collaboration with those organizations and then with the governing bodies in the town and figure out how we can create projects and events that everyone is on board with, so nobody is existing as an island unto themselves. That's where I see the Arts Council role as being very valuable with the town's assistance, just keeping the conversation going.
And part of, when you think about what can the municipal role in this be, I mean, some of it can be helping with funding. So, for example, Bennington Arts Weekend, which is the first weekend in August, the town at that select board meeting when we presented the plan, is going to help with some of the funding for a concert that Alex is helping to promote with the Bennington Area Arts Council. Alex Torres and his salsa band.
His
is
Latin
coming.
orchestra.
His Latin orchestra is coming on August 3rd.
August 3rd in the evening. Now, Bennington Arts Weekend, it's a really opportune example of the things we have going on. I mean, it's the whole weekend. We have the Brew Festival in town, the Southern Vermont, the Craft Fair.
Exactly.
And a lot of things going on. We have some gallery openings that are happening. And so a concert like this, which is free to the public, it's just another way for us to say, hey, look what we have going on. You know, come to Bennington, and if you live in Bennington, participate in, you know, what makes us such a special place to live and work.
If you don't live in Bennington, I mean, I think a role for towns across the whole county is to really spread the marketing of arts and culture as a reason for tourism in our region. We already know that's a huge draw, and the more that we can do that as a coordinated effort, then the more success we're going to have. And so, for example, Bennington Arts Weekend is going to be cross-promoted with the town, the Bennington Area Arts Council, the Better Bennington Corporation, which is our downtown organization,
The Chamber.
and the Chamber, which is now the Shires. And I think the Shires is a great lead for some of these strategies, especially around tourism and marketing, because they are working across the entire county now. And so one of the things that our chamber has done so well are networking events for local businesses. And we've talked about, as one of the things to implement, is more focused networking for the arts and cultural leaders. So that's one example of a strategy. Another thing that municipalities across the entire region are looking at doing is kind of creating an arts and culture trail. You know, we've done this with historical trails, we've done them with, like, you know, beer trails, cheese trails. So, you know, I think that could be a really great way to connect the North Shire and South Shire in the future.
The cultural plan follows in the footsteps of others that have looked at the creative economy and efforts to forge collaboration across the arts, cultural, and creative segments of the county's arts sector. This plan differs from some of the early ones by offering a detailed blueprint and toolkit on how to track and implement progress. Opportunities and challenges are involved here as well. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.